All right, go for it.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever in the world you are. It's Wednesday. Wait a minute. It's not hump day. It's Thursday, and it's time to cuss with Gus. Now, you've probably heard of this man. You've probably heard of the silver-tongued Grecian and his wonderful use of verbiage and adjectives. You might say to yourself, wow, what else does he do as his day job? Well, I'll tell you. Go to perpetualassets.com. And if you are worried about your 401k, you're worried about your XIV being nuked, and you're one of those holdouts over at Credit Suisse. You still got your 401k somewhere in there or some retirement account, and you're worried about it. Well, call Gus Demos or his partner Will Lear over at perpetualassets.com, and they will get you into a self-directed retirement account. You become the master of your own destiny. And then when you get that done, you can go ahead and do whatever you want. You can go ahead and get real estate. You can go invest in stocks, bonds. You can go get cryptocurrencies. You can buy gold and silver, whatever the heck it is that you'd want to do. Get rid of your normalcy bias, grow a pair of balls, and go to perpetualassets.com. And if you're a woman, you could also grow a pair of balls and go to perpetualassets.com and get yourself a retirement account. With that out of the way, Gus, what's going on, buddy?
Dude, so once every, 1 to 2 weeks, I'll know if someone's a listener to the show. They'll call up. They'll be like, all right, I've been looking at this LLC IRA thing for a while. Blah, blah. So we'll go back. We'll talk. I'll describe the product. He'll have, he or she'll ask questions that they have, obviously, in the solution. And then at the end of the conversation, I'm like, oh, thank you for the interest, blah, blah, blah. I'll know they're a listener of the show because occasionally they're like, you didn't say fuck once. And I'll be like, well, I don't know if you're a priest or if you are aware. I mean, so yeah, it may shock some people that I don't fucking make it rain F-bombs on every single sales call or business transaction. But yeah, if I let my guard down and I know it's a listener, then yeah, I'll just be myself. But yeah. And when I walk into the bank or whatever to make a deposit, I'm like, listen, bitch, give me a deposit slip. So yeah, it is possible to tone it down. I also don't make it rain in front of my nieces and nephews, but it's nice to let your guard down when you're talking amongst the guys or whatever.
Absolutely, man. 1,000%.
Well, yeah, because you talk differently depending what groups you're around. So yeah, I don't get my mom on the phone and start fucking
unless of course you want to have her to go off on you.
Yeah, unless she's telling me what a disappointment I am still. Right?
Gus, you're a disappointment. You're such a disappointment.
Yeah, dude, it's good times. These are great times. And like I told you, this is our. But having internet connectivity and Wi-Fi bullshit going all morning, tax season, it's a fucking it's a and we got Mexico next week, and it's a cluster.
You got to go to Acapulco.
Dude, I got to try to fucking sneak a fucking shiv up my ass to protect myself in case my amigos at the cartel try fucking pulling any kidnapping type business.
Hey,
Jefe.
We heard you about that guy, the Garia economist. You're the guy who my Jefe wants a self-directed IRA. Well, we're gonna kidnap you now, you gringo.
Grandote griego. Yeah. Dude, so I was talking to this. Was she Peruvian? I'm not sure if she was from Peru or. It was definitely West. She was a bartender, adorable, like 28 years old a couple days ago. And I don't know if it was Peru or Chile. Anyway, she was western part of South America.
Oh, okay, cool.
And I started joking around and I started calling her patrona and boss lady translated, right?
Yeah.
That usually cracks a smile if they speak fluent Spanish. But she corrected me. She's like, no. And she's like, in Peru we say jefa. It depends where. She's like, it's not always the same. The Spanish dialogue is different depending which country you're in.
Yeah, exactly. Like if I'm with Colombians or I'm hanging out with CJ and his cartel, I usually CJ's cartel members just call him patron. Sí, patron. Sí.
Patron. Boss.
Yes, patron.
Yes, but dude, I can't wait for fucking season 4. It's gonna be
what?
epic.
Of Narcos?
Narcos, dude. It's gonna be epic.
I can't wait.
Yeah,
Folks, if you haven't seen Narcos, you owe it to yourself. You owe it to yourself. You owe it to your family to sit there and watch Narcos season 1, 2, and 3. You just owe it to yourself. It's probably one of the best television shows on Netflix ever. Period.
Yeah, it's outstanding. Forget that the U.S. agents portray themselves as heroes, although they're conducting secret sting operations on foreign land. It's if you really take a step back and look at it from like a libertarian perspective, I'm like, actually, you're on sovereign dirt running criminal and military intelligence that on a country that has nothing to do with you.
Nothing to do with you. But we got to eliminate the coca trade. That's why I like Sicario, bro. Did you see Sicario?
Well, dude,
they're making a sequel on it.
Well, fantastic movie. That scene at the fucking dinner table is awesome. When
CJ pulled it up on our Hangouts live. So that's Narcos. Play the trailer, Siege. Go ahead, Siege. Play the trailer.
The audio go through or not? It probably will.
Probably
El
will.
Pacho.
Pacho Herrera. No. Oh, that was a great scene.
Oh, in the barbershop.
That actually happened. He's
Were the other guys Haitians?
No, Dominicans. They were trying to push in on the Colombians in New York. And there's Gabriel Iglesias, El Fluffy over there.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Cocaine cartels are about succession. The day Pablo went down, the Cali cartel became public enemy #1.
There you go. It's a great show, folks. I hear Papa on the background. I don't know if that's hey, Patron, El Cuco, is that one of your kids?
Like you said, I think that movie even takes it is mild when they say we need, because they tried making it seem in that movie that we just want to be. I think it's less about creating order out of chaos and more about being in control, like they are with the fucking opium supply in Afghanistan.
Oh, 1,000%. You see the CIA active in the show, and you see a glimpse of Barry Seal. So in the series of Narcos, you actually see them mention the CIA involvement in narco trafficking, and they mention Barry Seal, which later on, Tom Cruise in the movie American Made, which I've yet to see. It's been sitting in my iTunes.
Awesome.
I heard it was great.
Dude, it is fucking awesome. And it lets you see how much just all backdoor bullshit in every single fucking angle. It's about money, it's about power, it's about
it's about funding the black budget.
Dude, absolutely. Dude, there was a like a little segment on Tucker Carlson last night that was about some guy came up and started talking about the scam of the red light cameras in Arizona.
Oh my God, total scam. Explain that, man.
And it all came to, I mean, the moral of the story, the cliff notes are, dude, it's all about revenue. Like, it's all about money. I mean, every time the last couple of years, I've gotten a few fucking like jaywalking tickets, and they get mad that I'm not like, and that's what pisses me off most about the left. Because the libertarians are like actually anti-authority too, but we don't go anti-authority by destroying private property and riots and looting. We actually respect private property. The libertarians have a real problem with government shakedowns too. Shockingly, jaywalking tickets really bother me because they're victimless. So do speeding tickets. So there's victimless crimes. There's no victim to point the finger and said I walked across the fucking street because it wasn't. And the cop, I'll never forget, he shit himself because he was expecting as he was extorting me for $200.
Jesus, for jaywalking?
Dude, absolutely. So he expected his usual ass kissing, and he goes, "Why did you cross the street?" I'm like, "Because I trusted my eyes." And like he could, because there were no cars coming for 3 miles, so I figured I'd just walk across the street and not wait for your sign to start blinking. But yeah, that's dude. But when you acknowledge it for what it is, that it's all revenue streams.
It's all it is. It's more taxation, man.
dude. It's,
you want to know something? Here's a little thing, right? Like I have tinted windows on my M3. I love it. Won't take it off. New York State passed a law that starting of January of 2018, you cannot have tints on your car. And I got like a light, 30% tint, so it looks really classy. My car still has the inspection sticker from December of 2012. And now, before I would just pay the ticket and whatever, the cops pull me over for tints. If I have the ticket or whatnot, I just pay the ticket. I don't have a front license plate on my car. I don't like it. I think it ruins the front end of the car. I hate having a front plate. So I got pulled over here and there for like front plate. We got tinted windows because I want tinted windows. It's not too dark. You can obviously see me. Like, what the hell's the point? I understand, like, within reason that if it's too damn dark, you're kind of worried about your safety. But, I'm smart enough to know if I get pulled over, I put the windows down. I have my interior lights on. My car's engine is shut off. I'm not going nowhere,
Well, a car, dude, a car is a perfect example of one asset that has 10 different government shakedowns on it.
It's terrible.
So you got the license plate, you got the sticker on the license plate, you have the registration. Depending where you are in the country, a lot of times you'll need a village sticker on the windshield. You'll need like it's 8 different the admissions to confirm you're not destroying the earth. Like there's literally 8. There's 8. Dude, you need the driver's license, so you have to go and pass it, which costs money. It's literally 8 different revenue streams for one fucking asset.
It really is. And that's why, like, I'm so sick of it. Like, I want to get my registration and registry for my car and myself done. I'm setting up a Florida residency. I'm gonna have Mr. X set one up for me. This way, switch it to Florida, and then when Florida, there's no inspection. So I just get a Florida plate. I got no stupid inspection stickers or any of that crap in the front of my my windshield. And then these idiots in New York will pull me over left and right. I refuse to take my tints off. I refuse to put a front license plate on. Like, I can't do it, man. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, I understand if the tints are too dark. I understand it's with a reason. But my tints are just light enough where you can still see inside of the car. And if I do get pulled over, again, I put all the windows down. Why can't they pass a law? If you have tinted windows, cop comes up to you, you got to have your windows rolled down. That's fine. No, you can't have windows. You can't have tinted windows. Well, I don't want the UV sun in my face or my kid's face. I don't want that. Like the nannying, bro, the ninnying. I mean, and then let's just say you pay off your car, right? You pay off your car. In New York State, let's say you pay off your car in New York State or in the left wing commie state of where you live. Then every freaking year you got to pay $200 some odd bucks to the stinking state just so you have the authority to drive your car on the road.
Well, dude, it's a million different things, and they're all hidden under the veil of this is for your own good. Because when someone's coming to fuck you in the ass by force, they shockingly can't teach that in elementary school. Like this is all a fucking shakedown, and like it or not, you're taking it. Like, so they have to disguise it under whatever fucking guise which is what they do. Oh, dude, you think the government gives a fuck about you wearing a seatbelt? If you go flying out of no, dude. How about talking on your cell phone? Like, it's every single fucking angle they could get to extort fucking money from you, they will. And it's for your own good. Don't talk on your cell phone. It's for your own good. Don't worry. You got to wear a seatbelt. It's for your own good. Your windows are too dark. It's for your own good. Like, everything's for our own good, and it's so much for our own good that they're gonna steal my fucking money to prove it by force.
Oh yeah.
Like, it's such a fucking scam, and that's even. And you don't have even the basement dwelling fucking commies. You really push them up to the corner and say, "All right, motherfucker, start paying for my fucking parking tickets." Like, they're like, wait, no one likes those. Mm-hmm. Like, well, what the fuck do you think government is, dude? It's a fucking shakedown. They don't love you, fuckface. Like, they're out to steal your shit. Yeah. So it's dude, it's frustrating, and that's why there's something to be said for kind of what you're doing with planning multiple, like the Florida thing, or you want to try to live as off grid as possible. It's hard.
You want to be like David Rockefeller, for lack of a better word. You want to like own nothing on paper, but yet control everything.
Dude, that's when we get into asset classes. That's that's my problem with asset classes that are illiquid, not only illiquid, but can't move. So this isn't even throwing homeowners under the bus, for example, but that's my pushback to being somewhat anti-real estate. Between the bank and the government and this and that, if they could just put a lien on your shit. You don't really ever own it because you're always paying them you're always paying them property taxes. If you really want to see who owns your home, stop paying property taxes and you'll find out.
That's what I always say. Exactly right, man. I'm glad you feel that way because, dude, wealthy people don't own homes.
Well, they
own it through various trusts. They own it through various corporations and shell companies. That's how they own it. They don't personally own it. It's a fucking liability, man.
You're leasing from the government. Like
exactly.
That. If I own something, I shouldn't have to pay taxes on it, regardless if I'm profiting from it or not.
Correct.
So it's the only asset I could think of that even if you're not pulling yield out, even if you're not liquidating it, you're getting taxed on that asset. It's the only asset I could think like that. Like you have to pay tax on it.
It's not even an asset. I mean, it's the most ridiculous thing in the world. I mean, when you look at the whole concept of home ownership, right? It started in like what the 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s. That's when it really started to pick up, especially in the 40s and 50s. Right after the war, there was this massive economic boom, and then corporations were spreading left and right all throughout the country, and they marketed it in a way that, hey, it's the American dream, you got to own a home. So what happened is that American workers would buy their homes next to the factories or the corporations that they would work. They would work at, and they'd live and work, and they'd work in that one corporation for 20, 30 years, get the retirement, get the pension. They live there. And back then, of course, you could obviously afford to buy a home because it was, you could do it on one income. Then it just started spiraling out of control, Like, even if you pay off your home, man, it's like you said, it's like, don't pay taxes on it, and boom, you'll find out who owns what real quick, number one. Number two, you're paying taxes on it, you're paying school taxes on it. Number three, you're paying repairs on it. Anything goes wrong, you're liable for it. So,
there's eminent domain where they can just come and grab it if they fucking feel like it. Like, you're in the way of a power line, we're ganking your shit.
Yeah, we're going to take 20 feet of your front yard and run a power line through it or a new sewage line.
If there was a such thing, dude, if there was a such thing as a editorial title, then I'd be for it. Like, where come hell or high water, the state and the feds cannot touch my fucking land.
I can't find anything with a editorial title.
No. And it used to be that way in Greece. Like, my parents would tell me, like the house my dad grew up in was basically in our family for like 150 years. But there was no property taxes. No, they didn't have a mortgage. There were no property taxes. Like, it passed down from father to son, it just passed down generations. Right. But that's fucking dead. Like, there were no property taxes. This is our land. What do you mean? And then it's even changed in Europe. Like, and I don't think England ever had that. But I think some of the Southern European countries had that, where you could just pass it down.
France had it, and even in Louisiana, we had a Napoleonic law with odial title in some parts in Louisiana, and then they got done away with that. So it's pretty funny that, when you look at the U.S., a lot of the court and law traditions, like in where we are in New York State and where you guys are in California, you have what originated in common law, but what happened in like Louisiana and some of the Gulf states, you had Napoleonic law. So and that was the last to hold odial title, and then it's all done away with. You don't own shit.
No.
But yet the Federal Reserve, which is such an oxymoron. I mean, not the Federal Reserve. The federal government has federal land. Like, how is that freaking possible? They're only allowed Washington, D.C., but somehow they have federal land.
Yeah, it's like I said, between the property taxes and the fact that they could kick you off of it anytime they fucking feel like it, and I've always had an issue with the fact that, I mean, and a lot of our clients invest in it, so I mean, and lots of my family members invest, so I get it, and fortunes have been made on real estate, right? So to each their own. It's not my cup of tea.
It's not my cup of tea either. Like, I look at it this way. Like, my thing is this: you want to go get let's just say you're in New York State, average home. Depending on where you look, it could be anywhere between $400,000 to $600,000 for just an average home, right? You go ahead, you grab it. Let's just say you have the money to go and you get, like, I don't know, a mortgage. You get a mortgage out on it, and people are like, well, people come up to me, they're like, So, when you're gonna buy a house, I'm like, I'm waiting for the market to drop so I can buy it for pennies on the dollar. And they're like, well, you should buy a house because we have a house. And I'm like, well, and I explained to them, there's no difference between what you're doing versus what I'm doing. What I'm doing is that I'm exchanging money for space. You are exchanging money for money. In other words, you're paying money to borrow money in order to pay for an asset that's a noose around your neck that you're on the hook for. I don't like where I'm at. I give my landlord, who I love, is a great people. I give them a 30 or 60-day notice and I'm out. You, on the other hand, are fucked.
Yeah, well, I like the mobility factor. You're 100% right. If it goes to shit, I could be out of here in 30 days. I like pay 1 month default and fucking gone. Like all that is the kind of shit. And the
rationalization also of this, man. It's like if I had $400,000 or $600,000 liquid, right? If I had like anywhere between $400,000 and $600,000 liquid, would I buy a home? Hell no. I'd probably invest the hell out of that money.
Well,
you know what I'm
saying? And going down a common factor we talked about, it's also an asset that's not very hard for an ex-wife's divorce lawyer to find.
That's
what
you're
already fucking living in
it real well. You know what I'm saying?
When
hide it real well. But and here's another thing. You know what I would do, dude? If I had, this is what I would do. And I'm gonna. Okay, this is about guerrilla tactics. This is not advice whatsoever, and it's not ethical. But if you know how the system works, there's nothing ethical about it. This is what I would do. Okay. And I would seriously consider doing this. Okay. Now, being with remaincalm.net, we have access to 335 lenders, right? We can get up to I would go and get $600,000 unsecured. Okay. From a lending client. All right. From various lenders, right? Get 600,000 cash liquid. All right. I would use that money to buy a house and then have some left over for investments. Then I would just burn it. Not the house or the investment, but burn the loans. I wouldn't even pay them back. I'd be like, later, peace. I'm out.
You mean a default? Just default on the
whole entire thing because it's an unsecured loan. You can't come after my house. What are you going to do? Come after my bank account? Good luck trying to find it.
Well,
if you're set up right, you can get away with that.
You can
get away with that.
The hesitation.
To be honest with you, what?
No. I was going to say we've in the past explored even foreign land development deals where people come to us with, hey, what do you think about offering this to your clients? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, yeah. So in the past, I'm like, dude, I don't trust the U.S. government with fucking land. You think I'm going to trust some fucking country in South America with land? So I don't. I try to be universally objective about it and say, to be clear, I don't trust anyone. I don't trust the guys who have the monopoly of force with land. There's nothing to stop the fucking Mexican government, the fucking Chilean government, any fucking government on earth from just saying, thank you, doink. So every time I hear of, land opportunities, even if they're international, my hesitation is, what's to stop them from seizing or issuing a huge property tax or just doing, dude, they have the rifles. Pick your, at the end of the day, who holds the gun? And it's them.
That's it.
So
why be a painted target is what I'm trying to say. One thing they can't get a hold of is your diversification in cryptos. One thing they can't get a hold of is if you've put your gold and silver in, let's just say, a good delivery network where it's free from third-party counter risk. It's offshore. It's in the name of a trust or an LLC that you control. You're diversified. You got to be like, you smart as Jesus Christ. My brain is just not that well today. It's what's his name? The guy in Argentina.
Casey.
What's his name?
Doug Casey.
Doug Casey. Yeah, my buddy Doug Casey. Casey's so diversified around the world. It's not even funny. He's a global citizen. Guy's smart as heck.
Well, he makes a really good argument for they treat governments treat guests and visitors well, and you can
better than
actually,
citizens.
yes, and you can actually make the argument for immigrants in the U.S. obviously based
Of
on the last
course.
year or two. Like apparently, if you're an immigrant, the liberals love you.
Yeah,
But if
under the government, you get free healthcare, you get free everything. Dude, the only way you're gonna look, I've said this a million one times. The middle class is a sucker in the United States. He is a punk sucker. You know why? Because you think you're smart enough, where you think you know everything, and you don't do any research, and then the number one, number two, they think that somebody else will handle it for them. And that's the problem. They have the middle class, and it's the dumbest mentality you could ever have is a middle class mentality. It's stupid. You're too smart to be poor, but you're not smart enough to be wealthy.
Yeah, again, man,
and you fall for everything because you're a sucker.
Well,
you
for me, everything. Listen, protecting yourself from tyranny is not easy. So. Meaning that it's easier just to forget about guys who listen to us, girls who listen to us, whatever. Most of them are pretty diverse. They're awake. They've been red pilled. The guy, my buddies, that I grew up with.
Yeah.
Try convincing them that maybe their money isn't as safe with J.P. Morgan as they think it is. Like
no, forget about it. They'll look at you like you're crazy. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
I remember in the 2008 banking crisis, I've had relatives look at me and be like, "How can a bank go bankrupt?" Right before the day before Washington Mutual went tits up.
No shit.
Yeah, the day before. I don't understand. And the guy worked in banking. He's like, I don't understand. Like, how can a bank go bankrupt? They don't get it.
Well, what are all the other companies like? Who did our boy Corzine work for again? MF Global,
and freaking Global.
Yeah, and
MF Global is a perfect name.
yeah, exactly. But they raided customer accounts, and you thought the funds were segregated, and it turns out they're not. They're the customers, and I think most of them got paid eventually. But because I remember Gerald Celente was going. He was one of them.
He lost a tremendous amount of money. Why would anybody have any? It's the most ridiculous things in the world, man.
Well, but again, convincing someone who's not quote unquote, one of us or follows our sector, they're, as far as they're concerned, their money in the bank is safer than money in a hole in your backyard or whatever, or under your mattress, however the fuck you want to articulate it. Dude, speaking of economy. What do you think? Are we seeing based just on volatility across everything, or are we seeing the beginning of what people have been saying for fucking 6 years? Watch out.
No, I think it's a big correction.
Just a little correction, a blip.
I think there's two layers to it. I think the first layer, of course, is there's some banking bad guys that are trying to give Trump a lesson here. That's why they're like flashing 666 on a market dive on last Friday, and that's why they took it down to 1,500 points on Monday, dude. And the funny thing is, like, I've talked about this, and me and Dex talked about this weeks ago, before even the damn thing happened. Dex even gave the indicators of where the hell it's going to go, and sure as shit, it happened. The funny thing is that we look at it and it's like, okay, you know what? I think it's a downturn. So they're going to gear up, and they're going to run this damn thing all the way up to the top. And I'm seeing these buy signs. There's some cryptos that took a hit. PPT, Populous took a hit on some FUD. I sold off, took some profit. I'm waiting for it to dive back down. I'm going to go back in. Same thing with some stocks, man. I'm going to go back in. Buy when there's blood on the street, because I'm telling you right now, man, Dow 29,000. I've called it since over like a year ago at this point. Dow 29,000. Here we come. I was calling Dow 29,000 when the market was 15,000 points, and everybody's saying it's going to crash to 5,000. I was like, nope, it's going all the way up. Dude, I took all the traditional fundamental ways of tracking the market and I chucked it out the window. We're in a completely manipulated market. And if you want to know how they're going to do this, all you got to do is look overseas, because the keys of where the market's going to go, it's going to be overseas. It's how they treat the dollar overseas. The more shitty they treat the dollar overseas, the more preeminence America loses overseas, the higher the stock market is going to go, because they're going to have to hide They're going to have to hide the inflation somewhere. They're going to have to hide all those dumped UST somewhere. They're going to have to bring down the market a little bit so the right players get positioned. Because right now, when you look at the bond market's cratering. I mean, let's be honest here, Gus. That 10-year yield is not looking pretty good, huh?
Well, something. It doesn't matter. I don't know if it's necessarily has anything to do with Trump. All right, so I don't know. There's fiscal stimulation, deficit spending, the overall economy. Then there's monetary policy, money supply, and interest rates. So there's so many moving variables, and then there's the overall business cycle that things boom for anywhere between 5 and 10 years, and then you have some sort of deflationary event. Usually triggered by a specific sector or whatever he calls a black swan is the term that's got gained traction since the book. So do I think that we've been all asset classes, maybe outside of commodities, have been on a bull run since 2009? Yeah, they have. So would it shock me if the big one, if this isn't it, is it going to come in the next 6 months, 2 years? Sure, I don't fucking know. My curiosity lies in, and I've been saying this forever. If the big one does come, another 08 event, another 01 event, another 92, 87, whatever. My curiosity is what asset classes are really going to be fucked in the ass. And of the sectors, because usually, historically, there's a flight to liquidity. So people run into cash and watch cash on the sidelines. They watch everything crash. Then they jump on the most the most valued asset during the correction or crash or whatever. Mm-hmm. My curiosity is that, and how are cryptos going to react in that type of event? Because we haven't seen it yet.
It's going to, dude. I'm telling you right now. I'm going to make a prediction. I want people to write this down and hold my foot to the fire on this one. I'm serious. I predict the next 5 to 6 years is going to be the greatest stock market rise in world history. I don't see a crash until that 5 to 6 year period is over. There's no World War III. There's no market crash. It's the go-go 90s, like my buddy Dex would say. It's the go-go 90s like you would not believe. And I think we're going to see something so unique like we've never seen before. I think we're going to see a march in equities, cryptocurrencies, and gold and silver all at the same time. The bond market is not going to do so well. It's going to be a very shitty place for bonds, but equities is going to rally. Cryptos are going to go up. I believe also that gold and silver, precious metals, you're going to see a massive turn in that. And I think it's going to be an incredibly prosperous time. There's going to be challenges, no doubt. But I think it's going to be an incredibly prosperous time. 5 years, I see Dow 30. I see probably even see Dow close to 50,000 in 5 years, man.
So
crazy, ain't it?
You're predicting green skies ahead in the long term.
I mean, there's going to be some clouds, but it's blue skies and clear sailing. I think we have a reprieve for the next 5 to 6 years. So if you people have been thinking about building wealth, doing something, opening up a business, starting a business of your own, doing some investing, now's the time. Now's the time to build up your storehouses, because after that 5 to 6 year period, I sense there's going to be a massive global economic change when they finally purge the entire system. And then we're going to have, I think we're heading into a period of great drought and great market testing. But I think the next 5 to 6 years, man, it's the go-go 90s, baby.
Yeah, you have much bigger balls than I do in regards to making predictions. I don't go that. I just don't know what these I try to avoid taking the route of being overly fucking conspiratorial. Yeah. But if I acknowledge that these motherfuckers control the money supply, it's like, and when I look back at a lot of these, you'll see the run-ups in markets, asset classes, etc., and then just a retraction in money and credit and so you could argue that, are there certain motherfuckers that get out at the peak and then wait it out and fucking wait till the rest of us get fucking sucked?
Well, so, those guys, those guys are the guys who are constantly looking at it. And I think, me being said, what I just stated is not giving people a license to be laissez-faire. You're going to have to be super vigilant with what you have. You're going to have to put some skin in the game. And what that means is that You can't just sit back and watch. Oh, I'm going to have my Schwab broker watch this for me. I'm just going to have my broker just put everything into an index fund. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm like, you want to get your skin in the game. You know what I love about cryptos? This is what I love about cryptos. It's fucking dangerous. It'll rip your face off. You can lose everything. Okay? You can lose everything. And that's why I love it, because there's no safety net. You know?
Let me ask you this, and we can't point to it historically because they haven't existed long enough for us to do so. But if there is a Lehman moment, do you think they're going to act like cash, a flight to safety, or do you think they're going to act like every other asset and get crushed?
If there is a Lehman moment, it's going to be a flight to safety, and that again is going to be cryptos, and that again is going to be gold and silver. And here's the funny thing, dude. The market's so freaking rigged. There's even more rigged. Like what happened after 2008? What happened to Wall Street?
Nothing.
It went across the river. It rebooted. It went across the river to New Jersey. It rebooted, and it was reborn Wall Street 2.0. What's Wall Street 2.0? 90% of all trades is done by computers with no human intervention.
Yeah, well, that's different.
So it's a different ball game.
Well,
we can have the worst economic data, and the market goes up 5,000 points.
Yeah, the best was they were trying to explain. CNBC and Bloomberg were trying to make everyone feel better a couple of days ago. They're like, "Oh yeah, these are just computers that were selling off because certain thresholds were hit." I'm like, "Well, no shit. It's been like that for 10 years. Like you're right. Since 09, the high frequency trading is basically where it's stopped.
Dude, that's why I took all my charts and graphs and all my Elliott wave theory and all the how many Hindenburgs and what's this, that, and the sigma factor, 12 sigma events. I checked that shit out the window. Like, how many times did the market go into a 9 and 12 sigma event? Like, I lost count. How many Hindenburg events were there? And I'm like, I was one of those guys with everybody else. Like, oh shit, it's gonna be a crash overnight. Oh my god, honey, get ready, get the cat food out, baby. We might have to head to the basement. I used to be one of those guys.
Yeah, no. Well, that's watching. Dude, the fundamental laws of historical economics since 2008. So it's beyond distorted. So to take models that would be applied to other times in history and try to plug them into everything that's happened since Lehman, none of it makes any sense.
Nope.
Like because they tried. Everything the Fed did after it was unexplored territory and just buying fucking assets, expanding the Fed's balance sheet, interest rate. I mean, all of it. ZERP, NERP, blah, blah, blah.
ZERP, NERP, twist.
Yeah,
TARP.
Twist, turn. Yeah. So it totally was unexplored, and it still is unexplored territory. But the question is like, that's why what I learned for when we first got into this space is. And that's why we as a company and me personally, like I stay away from making predictions because you could only be careful when predicting the end of the world because you can only be right once. If you're constantly trying to pontificate apocalypse and it never comes, like you start losing credibility and people start and then people in the mainstream you're giving them ammunition to throw back in your face. Like you notice that with like Peter Schiff when he gets back on the air, they're like, Peter, you've been saying this for fucking 7 years now. Like
exactly. You become like the boy who cried wolf.
Yeah, and they throw that back in your face. You're giving them ammunition to shoot back in your face.
Right.
So that's why you want to be careful on your predictions. You're right. The truth is, if you would have pounded equities in 09 and even we were talking about real estate.
If you would have bought up equities in 09, if you would have been on a shopping spree, you'd be a monster by now.
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. There's no.
It's free money. The market at this point, man. Well, it's a money machine. All the algos are saying go, go, go. You know how I know it's going to be go, go, go for the next 5 to 6 years?
Fire away.
I'll tell you why. And this is what makes Senor Garria different from everybody else in the world. China is not ready to pull the plug yet.
You think they would be if something happened, you think they'd be the catalyst if they started dumping treasuries or whatever?
This is a crazy theory, and this is what's been told to me by my sources in some very, very high positions. Trump has been negotiating and working with the Chinese as well as the Russians in the background. Laugh at it all you want, discount it all you want, but here's the deal. There's a chance between the good guys here in the U.S. that have taken control of the government, and they have taken control of the government. It's just a dust-up operation that's just taking time because of rules and regulations and things of that sort. Arrests have been made. We're just waiting for the bigger shoes to fall, which hopefully they will fall very soon. Okay. But that being said, just like China utilized its various economic bubbles that it created for itself in order to build up its economy and the physical economy at that, the U.S. is doing the same thing. They're building up a physical economy. You know, what Trump wants to do and what the good guys want to do is use the stock market bubbles and the bubbles in equities and the bubble phantom wealth effect to ramrod a physical economy, put a physical economy in place. And that's why you're talking about 1.5 trillion in infrastructure spending. Like, where are they going to get the money from? From the fucking bubble. The bubble is everything. They're going to create more debt. Okay, they're trying to get a physical economy in place. Once we have a functioning physical economy in place, which will take at least 5 to 6 years for it to do, then we can go ahead and pull the strings. We can pull out the rug in terms of, getting the system purged. Because once we get the system purged, now we have a better position in the bargaining table. We have a better position at the table that, hey, you know what? We had to gut out the old financial system, and here we are. And also allows China and Russia and a few other countries to get their financial houses in order. Because right now, because the dollar, folks, has pretty much wrecked global finance. The cancerous dollar, okay, has spread globally. That is metastasized and is causing great sickness economically throughout the world. So the Chinese want to do this. Now they're all this is all again predicated on the good guys completing what they need to complete here in DC, which is getting rid of the bad actors, getting rid of the corruption, getting rid of all these idiots. And they're cool with it. They're cool with it. And then at that point, we could either have a Jubilee year, which we'll eventually have to, but then we'll go through the purge. And I told you, we got 5 to 6 years of this, and then we're gonna have some hard times. But if you're positioned correctly and use the time to store up as much wealth as possible, you're gonna ride into the new economic era just fine. You're gonna ride into the new world order just fine. But what they're trying to do right now is get that physical economy in place, get that production capability back. And the way you do that is you utilize the bubbles. You leverage that bubble for all it's worth. China's done it. Now we got to do the same thing. We got to reindustrialize ourselves. That's my take. Maybe I'm 100% wrong, but hey, that's my take.
No, you're definitely looking at the international angle, and you have your finger on the pulse of China and Asia better than most. And I think a lot of people undervalue the importance of. I mean, dude, at the end of the day, they're the second largest economy now, right? I mean,
they're technically the largest economy in the world.
Yeah, have they surpassed it from an output?
They surpassed us a long time ago, man. The U.S. doesn't have a 20 or 16. How many trillion economy we have? They went from 9, we went to 16, now we're at 20. I have no idea, right? But the fact of the matter remains, the U.S. economy GDP numbers are falsely reported. We're the only country in the world that reports our GDP number that counts government expenditure as GDP growth. It's the most insane thing in the world. That's like you spending all your money in your savings account, saying, "Hey, you know what? I've made myself wealthy because I spent everything I had." It's the most craziest thing in the world. So that's how we count our GDP.
Well, that's a clever way of basically taking debt and making it seem like growth.
Absolutely, man. If anybody did that at home with their husband and wives, with their spouse, I mean, they'd be in the doghouse, man. They'd be kicked out of their homes,
Yeah. So you think behind closed doors, he's mending fences and setting up correlations with the Chinese and with the big bear.
Let's put it to you this way, okay? In China, the Chinese people love Donald Trump. They call him Strong Donald. That's what they call him. Okay? They called they had a name for Barack. Barack was known as Barack the bamboo or some sort of wimpy name. They would make fun of him because he was such a wimp and a pussy. Trump, they love. And just to give you an idea of how much they love Trump, President Xi Jinping and Donald Trump, where did they dine when Trump was in China?
No idea.
City. They dined in the Forbidden City. No other president, no other foreign dignitary in world history has ever dined with the president of China at the Forbidden City.
How do you
That's
say
huge?
I don't know. How would they say homosexual Muslim in Mandarin?
Let me look that up. Look that up. Let me actually Google here because the Siri's useless. Siri's completely useless.
You're gay Muslim leader.
Yeah. Hey, Google. Okay, Google. How do you say gay Muslim in Mandarin?
同性恋穆斯林.
There you go. Gay Muslim.
Game over. Dude, I love it.
同性恋穆斯林.
That's what they call
that's what they call
seriously, that's what legit. Google just translated for me. Google Assistant, which is the best digital assistant you can get, and yes, it's listening to me. But yeah, Homsume Hukungi is gay Muslim, and it's correct.
This is gonna make you laugh, and it's slightly off topic, but it's funny that you're talking about Google Translate now. So I didn't know. I don't even know if it's appropriate to bring up. I didn't know Google Translated existed until I was in a Tijuana strip club, and she grabbed my phone and downloaded it. And goes, she wanted to communicate, and she's like, "Oh," so she was saying something in Spanish, and I could understand every fifth word or whatever. But she literally grabbed my phone and downloaded Google Translate, and then we started communicating through.
That's
Google
brilliant.
Dude, it's fucking funny because it's true too. I didn't even know. I had never thought of. I would just plug everything into like the main search engine before that. I didn't know there was a specific app for translations. True story. Dude, I love your optimism, and I hope you're right. And like I said, if you're right too. Yeah, if you're diversified enough throughout numerous asset classes, quite frankly, it should be irrelevant. Doesn't matter if it's inflationary times or deflationary times. That although it's hard to fucking peg the timing and here and there, and it's having a balanced, I think whatever Ray Dalio calls it, an all-weather portfolio or whatever. Sure. And although I don't agree with his allocation, the concept is good. If you acknowledge the economy only moves in two directions, which it does, inflation or deflation, the economics, be it micro or macro, it ranges from sector to sector. But the macro aspect is it can only move in two directions: asset classes increasing, asset classes decreasing, based on if it's an inflationary environment or a deflationary environment. And if you have a portfolio that covers both, then you're going to be fine. Even if another 08 Lehman happens and you're in the right asset classes, then you're going to be fine. And if it doesn't, if it runs up like you're suggesting for another 5 years, you're still going to be fine. Like, yeah,
as long as you're diversified. If you're all holding, all your eggs in one basket, that's a problem.
Yeah, 100%. 100. You. As much as I love certain things, as much as I love, not all my money's in gold, not all my money's in cash, not all my money's in Bitcoin. It's spread out through numerous asset classes, numerous currencies. And so any event happens, World War III happen, whatever happens, I should be okay. And hopefully, not only can you hedge against catastrophe and insane events, but hopefully you can make some fucking profit in the meantime. As you get more into specific sectors and verticals and asset classes, that's when fortunes are made, like cryptos the last 12 months or whatever. But yeah, it's a great time to be alive. It's very interesting times, and everything that's come out the last week or two. It makes me suspect you're right. Motherfuckers might be in handcuffs soon, dude. Like,
I think so, man. I think so. I think there's a strong possibility of that happening, bro. I mean, yesterday, here's something creepy. My buddy in Cali, he's a major Hollywood dude, and he's one of the good guys. And he works in the industry, and he's following QAnon, and all of a sudden he's like, Q posts some pictures of some sort of a drone strike or something like that, or some sort of window shot, of looks like a breach or something like that. But anyway, all of a sudden he said he was driving his Porsche 911 Turbo, and all of a sudden the emergency broadcast system comes on, and as soon as the emergency broadcast system comes on, QAnon posted, "Have you noticed the EMS system working more frequently than ever before?" Like, that was freaky. That was freaky. At the same time the EMS system was going on, Q was making a post.
Wow.
Like, this is real shit. I mean, it's I've been saying it, like, want to see some arrests, this, that, and the other. I mean, there is some stuff happening. Like, look, here's the deal. Like, you and I, we all look at these politicians, and I think we make the mistake of thinking that these politicians, like the Clintons and whatnot, are the big fishes. They're not. It's the guys that are behind the scenes that are the bigger, more dangerous fishes.
Well, I think it's a consolidated effort, meaning that you got people in the intelligence agencies, you got people in the Pentagon that are cancer, you got people at the DOJ that are cancer, you got people in Congress that are cancer, and they all work together. Like, it's and who knows? You might be right. The dudes in intelligence and in the military industrial complex, etc., they might have fucking dirt on all these motherfuckers too. They might have a picture of McCain fucking a sheep. I don't know. Like,
I mean, yeah.
I mean, who the fuck knows?
Instead of economy, has one of those leg braces, like a tiny one for his penis.
Dude, but the point is that watching them try to deflect everything that's happened with the memo, that's the text messaging back and forth between that skank who thinks we're all retarded, by the way, and what did she call Republic? Hillbilly retard. Like, it's like, oh, okay, bitch, now I know where we stand.
Mm-hmm.
If you didn't work for the FBI, I wonder how tough you'd be then. Like, it's so you.
Well, she outed Obama. You heard about that, right?
She said what?
She outed Obama in her love text messaging to Peter Strzok.
Dude, we're finding out more and more. He wanted to know everything or whatever. Yeah,
Boris wants to know everything of what's going on.
Well,
what do we do?
In watching the media heads try to still convince their sheep that there's no
Russian agents.
No, dude, still trying to push Russia on one hand, and to tell you you're a tinfoil wearing hat motherfucker if you think there's some sort of conspiracy here. Like,
you want to know something, man? If the freaking media had two brain cells to rub together, you know what they'd be saying? Like, if I was the CEO of CNN, because they got rid of Jeff Zucker, right? Who's just an idiot dingbat and an asshole. And if I were to come in, and if I was the shareholder or the chairman of CNN, and I hold CNN or Turner stock, I'd be like, guys, start planning an exit strategy right now. Instead of backpedaling and then looking for the exit doors to get out of this train, they are doubling and tripling down, which is, to me, folks, the ultimate sign that where there is smoke, there's an inferno. And this bitch is on fire, bro.
Sorry, bro. I muted briefly while I was cleaning out my coffee mug. I didn't want anyone to think I was taking a piss in the background. No, dude. They are doubling and tripling down, and it makes me think. There's a lot of times the only thing that confuses me is it ignorance, or is it malice? Right? Like, are we dealing with evil, or are we dealing with brainwashed dumb fucks? And
I think it's a combination of both.
Yes, I don't, dude. Yeah, I think you're fucking Rachel Maddow. Despite what I say about the bitch, she went to fucking Stanford. So I don't think she's utterly fucking stupid. Fucking Anderson Cooper, he's a CIA boy who's a fucking Vanderbilt, old money, 150-year-old money blood, right? Like, so do I think these people are not in the know or too ignorant? Dude, it's amazing that they get up there with a straight face and utter this shit where it's like, oh yeah, there's nothing to worry. Yeah, so a couple agents who were running investigations think you're half the country's fucking evil, retarded, and that they were out to get Trump, and and they want you to brush it all under the carpet like it's no big fucking deal. And what they do want you to think is a big deal is that Putin and Julian Assange are hiding under your bed. Like that's what you should be concerned about. Like it's like, dude, holy fuck. And
the funny thing is they're so stupid they don't realize that the majority of Americans don't even believe them.
No, dude. I was very encouraged. A poll came out like yesterday or 2 days ago. The Republican confidence in the FBI 3 months ago versus Republican suspicion that the FBI and DOJ had something to do with all this bullshit. So it was like 90% like 3 months ago, and it's like 70% the other direction now. So people know, like you could feed people so much bullshit, but after a few swift kicks to the balls, they eventually start to wake up. And I think that's where we're at now. Like it's become, and Trump's approval ratings are what, 50% now since the State of the Union.
Yeah, it's like it's higher than Obama's at the same time.
Yeah,
at the same time period, it's higher than Obama's.
Dude, I hope there's a fucking, and you use the word a lot, and I love the word. I hope there's a fucking purge, dude.
There needs to be a purge.
These career motherfuckers that thought they were untouchable. So if someone was able to look at every text I've ever sent, there's probably some really embarrassing shit in there. No fucking doubt.
Yeah,
absolutely. But that being said, I'm not running an investigation against the president. So like, yeah, I don't have the authority or power. Like when two people are texting shit like that to each other, and they have the power to fucking swing elections or start impeachment proceeding, whatever, you're dealing with some serious fucking shit. And I mean,
you seriously are.
You can only ignore so many things, dude. Starting with like the Loretta Lynch, Bill Clinton planes. Like, at what point are we like, dude, enough of this bullshit? Like,
1000%.
Start fucking putting these motherfuckers behind bars. Yeah. Enough. Like, it's become so blatantly fucking glaring. And they're, oh god, the spying, liberals have become pro spying. It's incredible, dude. The few things that they used to bring value to the table with 20 years ago are gone. Like they're pro spying, they're pro war, they're anti-civil, they're anti-free speech. Like they're gone. They've
finally taken off the mask. They're not the lovey-dovey tolerant ones. They're the tyrannical ones. They're the fascistic ones.
They've gone full Stalin, dude. They've gone full. Yeah, they've gone.
Never go full libtard. They went full. They went plaid, bro. They went plaid.
Well, dude, the true fucking colors are out. We're gonna spy on you. You're not allowed to say what you really think. Like it's out. The mask. They're East Germany, dude. Like
they're done because they're eating each other. They're throwing each other under the bus. They're calling each other sexual miscreants. They're pointing the fingers back and forth. They're virtue signaling each other to death to the point that they're virtue signaling each other to the point of self-immolation.
Oh, dude, did you?
I love it.
Dude, did you watch? Bro. Did you watch the Rose McGowan tranny argument with the tranny in the audience?
No, I missed it. Tell me about it.
Oh my god, dude! Well, it just goes with what you were saying. They are eating each other alive. So she was one of the front troops of the whole Me Too movement. The sexual harassment, rape, blah blah. I don't know. She was one of the first voices exploding on Twitter and on interviews and whatever. So she's become a bit of a feminist icon the last couple months.
Yeah.
And again, I haven't done research on everything she's claimed or saying or whatever. But a tranny confronted her at a Q&A a couple days ago. And she kind of appeased the tranny for the first like 60 seconds. And finally, it wasn't even a Freudian slip. It was like, listen, you're actually a man, so you don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. So she played the fucking tranny card for 30 seconds to a minute. Then you'd think she's on a call with me and you. She's like, actually, you don't know what the fuck I'm talking about because you're not a real woman. And then the tranny explodes, and it's like, how fucking dare you? Like, so yeah, the tranny goes berserk where she has to get like escorted out of the fucking room. And Rose McGowan's like, dude, and this I think was a Freudian slip. She goes, everyone's fucking thinking it. I'm just gonna fucking say it. Like, basically, the masks that she lets slip is that even God knows what percentage of liberals think this whole 87 gender thing is a fucking joke. Like, it's like, yeah, she let it slip. She's like, everyone's fucking thinking it. I'm just gonna fucking say it. Like, this is retarded. Like, we could, you could pretend you're.
Everybody starts attacking McGowan.
Yes,
dude, they are virtue signaling each other to the point of self-immolation. They are destroying themselves,
dude. It's the victim.
I love it,
dude. It's the victimhood Olympics. Who is more oppressed? Chappelle mentioned this in like not his last couple stand-ups, but his first stand-up back on Netflix. Chappelle kind of got into his wife has this gay friend, and him and the gay friend kind of got into who's the greater victim Olympics.
Right.
So the gay guy wouldn't back down. He's like, dude, I'm gay. We're more oppressed. And Chappelle's like, dude, I'm black, fucker. Like, we were more oppressed. Like, and so that's what's gonna happen. They are so incapable of viewing each other as individuals. It is all group identity. I'm more oppressed. No, we are more oppressed. No, we are more oppressed. We are more like, when in actuality, like, it's not about your accomplishments or do you have a good heart? Do you a good family member or a good friend? Nothing. Individual accomplishments. Yeah. It's what is your group identity?
That trumps everything.
Absolutely, dude. That is the scam of cultural Marxism. That is a scam of postmodernism. What group do you belong to? And there could always be a more oppressed group. It's almost like a reverse pyramid. Like, so even a Black Lives Matter activist can't debate someone who is homosexual and black and a midget and has 11 finger and like, so there's all and a tranny, like, so there's all these levels of oppression.
Level is a black, transsexual, gay,
Native American,
Muslim, Buddhist.
Dude, they'll rediscover something new. There's always a new
ultimate thing. They literally fuck themselves.
Well, that's why I always use the 11 fingers thing or the midget thing, because if you would have told me, dude, I didn't even know what postmodernism and sexual or cultural Marxism. I didn't even pay attention to this shit 5 years ago.
No,
but
now
well, when I started feeling it, when I started like knowing something is fucking wrong here, was when the tranny thing exploded like 2 years ago. I'm like, don't these people make up like 1/10,000th of the population? Like, what the fuck are we talking about here? Like, what's next? Like redheads? Like the gingers are oppressed? Like
the gingers are going extinct. Save the gingers.
Yeah,
save the gingers.
How many more minuscule groups are they going to try to are the Democrats and liberals going to try to steal all southpaws, all people who are left-handed? Like, you guys are oppressed, you're left-handed, you didn't have your own golf clubs for 40 years. Like, it's like they just keep going that they try to nitpick all these people who might be dude, it's so fucking it was infuriating for a long time. Now it's like hilarious. It's like, and yeah, every time, the same night with the Peruvian girl, some girl was there at the bar, and she said, yeah, I'm from Hawaii. And I'm like, you don't look Hawaiian. And she goes, that's racist. And I go,
that's racist.
I'm like,
what does she look like?
Dude, she looked like a fucking Irish girl. She was like fucking, she was like this freckled, pasty girl. And I'm like, you look Irish or something. I don't know. And the fact that I would actually acknowledge what someone from Hawaii might look like, and that's the minute you hear something like that, you know who you're dealing with.
Of course.
And a year ago, that would have made me angry. A couple days ago, I just started laughing. I said, yes, I know. I'm like, what would I know? I'm a cis. Like when you start throwing their terminology at them, like that's when they know, all right, this guy knows about our gender studies scams. It's gonna be hard.
He knows our lingo.
Yeah, he knows it's going to be hard to steamroll this guy. He knows I'm full of shit right now. For acknowledging, Hawaiians look different than fucking Scottish people. Whatever, it's gotten funny. It's gotten funny to me.
That's hilarious, man. I love it. Anyway,
Yes,
bro,
yes,
we're
good
at the end of
time.
the show, man.
Dude, great talk, bro. Great talk.
Always great talk. Always great talk, man. Why don't you plug your site, dude?
Perpetual Assets. Check us out if you got a retirement account. You're interested in switching it up, part of it, all of it, but whatever. It doesn't have to be all or nothing. Check us out, perpetualassets.com. Plug it in the search engine, plug it in a URL. We specialize in retirement accounts.
There you go. I want to do some contests, man. I've been thinking. I haven't figured it out yet, but I'm going to do some sort of contest with Rogue. Maybe on some subscriber level or something like that. Give away a watch. That's what I'm thinking about doing.
I say you do a contest where every caller or listener that does something, CJ downs a bottle of whiskey.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Watch out now.
Let's do that.
Yeah, but by the end of the show, CJ's like running naked in the streets on 2 bottles of Jack Daniels. Like
he's running down the main street of Indianapolis, streaking. Like we're going streaking, guys. Like Will Ferrell in the movie Old School.
Yeah, I clearly stole that from Old School. Yeah,
totally.
Obviously. Yeah.
Oh my god, that's hilarious. Anyway, man, any new watch purchases on your end? Where we go?
I think I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna go Daytona. I think I'm gonna scrape together.
The Daytona? Good call.
I think so. I think I'm gonna scrape together some shekels this year.
Yeah.
I like for something that big. I think I'm gonna go goal setting. Like if we have this good of a year, I'll treat myself at the end of it, kind of thing. So I think that's gonna be my 2018 goal for myself if all goes well.
I think next month, depending on how much of a month I have, like sometime in March, I would like to pick up either the Rolex Hulk or the Batman, one of those.
Oh, dude, very very reasonably priced.
And you want to know something that's going to skyrocket? You know why? Because Rolex is discontinuing the Hulk and the Batman. They're stopping all their sports watches.
I saw that. I follow a few channels, YouTube channels and they're discontinuing both. And get them while if it's in steel, very reasonably priced. And you're right. I think, dude, if it is continued 10 years from now, that thing's gonna be a fortune,
bro.
Yeah,
it'd be worth a fortune. Yeah, definitely, man. I picked up a crap little watch. I actually picked up a rare Seiko piece from Japan. It's a Seiko tuna, baby tuna, Zimby edition.
I have a friend who is part of a club.
Yeah,
that he gets a new one. They basically rotate them.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Watch Gang or something like that.
I don't know the name of it, but he's like, there's 3 tiers. You could get tier 1 is like
$200. They send you a watch.
It's like 200, 350, and 500. And for the 500 a month, you're getting like 20K watch, 20K watches. For the 350 tier, you're getting like 5 to 10 grand watch. So you rotate them every month, and if you like it, you could buy it, and blah blah blah. But he does that just so he gets a taste of how it feels and how it looks, and just to get a taste of different brands.
Sure.
So yeah, it was intriguing.
Yeah, I checked them out. They do they're not doing any of the premium brands. They're doing more of the off brands and micro brands.
Yeah, I just saw him a couple days ago. He was with me at the bar I was telling you about a couple days ago, and he
what do you have on his wrist?
He was wearing a Panerai.
He was wearing a Panerai?
Yeah, it was a nice one, dude. He's tier 2, so he pays $350 a month, and he was wearing a $7,000 watch. Yeah, it was nice,
dude. That's dope. And then he's got to give that back, obviously.
Unless he wants to buy it. It's basically a monthly lease with an option to buy at the end.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, dude, it's interesting. I haven't researched it at all. It's just what he was telling me a couple days ago.
Interesting. I like that. That's dope.
Why the fuck not?
Why not? My favorite watch, dude. Here it is. My favorite watch, believe it or not, is my Seiko SKX007, baby. This watch came out in 1996. It is a must in every collection. You can go to anybody's collection who have like $300,000 Pataks, and they'll have a Seiko SKX. You find articles about this freaking watch in like Watch Time, Hodinkee, you name it, bro.
Dude,
it's a sub $200 watch, but it's freaking amazing. There's something about it. It's like I have it on my wrist at all times. Love this freaking watch.
Send over a pic of that bad boy. So I can size it up, and let's don't forget, let's set up a call. Yeah, with your guy, Mr. Wick. Mr. Wick.
Let's do it. All right. With that being said, folks, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, and we're gonna do something with subscribers. You might be getting a watch. I'm deciding it's either going to be a Seiko SKX007 or a Glycine combat sub. So we'll see. I just bought a combat sub, by the way, man. Glycine's combat sub. It's awesome. Great watch. Dude, it looks like a Tudor Black Bay. That's what it looks like.
Dude, you're on fire, brother. I love it.
Yeah, loving it, man. Loving my watches. You know, I gotta calm it down. I mean, you know, I just want to get. I'm just gonna get my Hulk sub, and then I'm gonna chill. Then I think I'm done for a while.
They're addictive, dude. They're addictive.
That's the best. It's awesome. All right, take it away, Siege.